Welcome to Corner of Fifth Street Talk, where we unpack marketing strategies and explore industry insights and consumer trends in retail, fashion, beauty, tech, luxury, and more. I'm Arthur Zaczkiewicz. I'm the content director at Corner of Fifth, and we have a great episode today featuring Olivia Barron, who was our intern over the summer and did some writing for us, and she's in college now. She's going to bring some of her friends to partake in a discussion about Gen Z, so stay tuned for that. Before we get there, I'd like to welcome our new co-host, Cass Spencer, who's the co-founder of Corner of Fifth. Cass and I will be spending just a few minutes today talking about headlines that are on our minds, what we're seeing in the industry, and just generally have a conversation about what's news. Cass, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for having me on the show. It's a great pleasure. It's been nice to join. I've been obviously doing a bit of the production on the back end of this, but it's nice to have a kind of foil Arthur here. So
you're the producer. I should say that too.
I'm producer and sidekick now. It's great.
So what are you reading? What's on your mind as you go through the headlines over the past few weeks?
One of the things was actually from your newsletter from last week. There was, because just to give extra weight to what you were saying about particularly the holiday season that's coming up. There was a quote from Gregory Dacko, who's the chief economist at Ernst Young. Turns out he's a friend of mine. I didn't even realize at the time. Because he's one of the soccer dads, so I kind of I got to know him, and then I was like, wait, that's you. He was quoted saying they're expecting US retail sales to rise 2.5% this holiday season, surpassing $1 trillion, which sounds great. But this gain will be price driven, which is kind of what you were alluding to, the fact that actually you're not getting much bang for your buck. You're spending the same, but you're not getting as much in your cart at the end of the day. It said it will set a record for nominal sales, but not in sentiment. Price increases will mask muted volume growth and a smaller cohort of high income consumers. Again, we keep coming back to this. The economy has been driven by the top end and not like 90% of Main Street, which is a bit of a worry. One of his colleagues, Will Auchincloss, also a VY, who's head of the US retail sector, says consumers are increasingly fatigued by high price levels and navigating an economy that feels less favorable. So it's all about prioritizing value over discretionary.
It's funny you brought that up. The two things that I'm bringing to the table today that's top of mind is exactly that. And there was two reports. This past week, the retail sales from the Commerce Department was supposed to be released, but it wasn't because of the government shutdown. But there's a consulting firm out there, Circana LLC, I think they're based in Chicago, and they said basically they jumped right in because the data is so important to have, and they're finding that discretionary in their polling of consumers, just discretionary general merchandise retail dollar sales dropped 3%, and unit demand fell 6%. So what they're seeing is just overall diminishing demand that first appeared over the summer is being impacted by consumers basically buying less goods, but it's costing more money, right? So it's that's the impact of inflation. Unit demand declining is not a good sign, right? If you're a vendor, if you're a retailer, the dollars may be higher. I could see, where heading into holiday, you're going to have like a 2 or 3% bump in retail sales, but it's not, nobody's buying anything really. It's just
it's just costing us a lot.
And I think Alex Partners, they had a separate report. I think it's coming out. It's not out yet, but they're looking at basically consumers, just like you said, consumers want more value. They want more bang for their buck, and they're starting to accept higher prices. They're still buying, but they're not buying in the same quantities, and they want the best value for their money. So it's a value. I think what we're going to see is a more frugal consumer mindset heading into the holidays, and that's it's going to be challenging for retailers, right? So how do you do that? Alex Partners also had some data, consumer data, looking at traffic. So and PlaceRight.ai is also having that very similar patterns where actually store traffic is up. People are going back into physical retail more than they had in other years, but they're not happy with what they see, right? So they want to spend, they're accepting tariffs, but when they go in there, things are not as engaging. So not a good place to be as we head into the peak, holiday
I
shopping.
think it's going to create a price war, basically, at the end of the
Yeah,
day. It's going to be how much you can discount your product. Now, you've got a headwinds with tariffs on that. So their prices are going up because of tariffs. And then you're trying to get those customers over to the cash till and spend their money. And the only way you're going to really do that is by if it's gone up with inflation is by bringing your prices down. So there's very little profit margin in there. It's
you
going
know,
to make a lot of those retailers.
right, and then that's the other thing is how do you balance inventory, right? I was talking to a vendor who specializes in supply chain issues, and because of the tariffs, he's finding his clients are buying fewer goods, right? Because then you have to pay less tariffs on that amount of goods because it keeps fluctuating. If
Yeah.
I'm going to buy like 10,000 units that I normally would last year, and tariffs go up, I'm going to spend a lot more money. So I'm buying in a smaller increment. So, I mean, across the whole value chain, I think the inflation impact is pretty bad. So
Yeah.
what happens next? Where do we go? How do we get out of this box that we've created?
We got to talk about tariffs. The numbers are starting to come in for the third quarter, and about how who's eating the tariffs was basically the expression. Who's buying it? Is that the retailer? Is that the consumer? Is it the exporter? And it turns out the exporters aren't eating that. They're just putting their prices up, which is causing problems on the dollar. And of course, it's the retailers who are having to eat it at the moment. Apparently, retailers aren't putting the prices up a little bit, but nowhere near what they're being charged on the tariffs. So the retailers are kind of like I say, but eating that at the moment, but they can't do that forever. So that's going to have a big impact, later on in the year. And coming into January, when you go into Q4, that's going to be the real reflection of what's happening in the holiday season, basically the whole year, and we'll be in full tariff mode by that point. Hopefully they would have stabilized. As you've seen again this week, China was slapped with another 100% tariff, and then it was taken away again. It's chaos. I don't like your 2 point. How do you buy product for your company or your retail or your bricks and mortar when it's constantly fluctuating in price? You can't bulk buy. You're buying literally by day to day almost.
The other thing you mentioned about the high end, I think the luxury segment is, although it's down for the year, consumers are still in that sector. They're a little bit insulated, perhaps, but they also want value. They may have more money if they're going to spend, $200 on a pair of jeans. They want the best value for that expenditure. But American Express, you probably saw this. They reported their earnings, and they killed it. They crushed it, 16% gain and revenue year over year, and it's all because of the high end consumer. That's what is driving their success. So for the rest of us, I guess.
Well, the rest of us have to. I've got a new spot of something else I want to talk about was the gold rush. The rest of us have to sell our jewelry because gold is going through the roof. And apparently there was a great story in Yahoo Finance this week. It said Americans look to cash in on family heirlooms because gold's just gone crazy this year. It started off at 2,600 per ounce, and it's currently, as of today, 4,200. That's a 63% rise just in this first 10 months, which is insane. That means there's a huge appreciation in gold, which is hard for designers and retailers to sell their jewelry, but consumers can take their old gold and cash in on it, and it's being bought. So, maybe that's kind of why we have kind of that kind of trend going on at the moment.
Is that it also comes as the US dollar? Isn't the US dollar declining?
US dollar down 10% this year. Obviously, there's many factors to why the dollar decreases. Part of it is tariffs, obviously. You've also got the government debt, you've got government shutdowns, you've got credit rating drops. It's a multifaceted kind of world. And what's happening is the central banks are doing around the world, they're buying, rather than buying the American dollar or the debt, what they normally do, what they traditionally did, they're now buying gold. And that's one of the things that's driving it. And they think that'll happen for the next year or so.
And who's the guy who wrote what's the book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, or Rich Mom Poor Man? I forget the guy's name.
My wife read it actually, so yeah.
he just came out this week and said that fiat currency, the dollar, is so meaningless now, that it's going to put middle class even in a lower kind of earnings income, because the valuation. I may have a house, but I have bills to pay, mortgages, and the more we print money, the deeper the hole that I'm going to be in, because I can't keep up with those inflationary costs. So
I mean,
you know,
the American dollar still has a lot of impact. It's still one of the biggest economies out there, but yes, it has depreciated. And that guy, I forgot his guy's name. He's a bit of a doomsayer. If you
yeah.
follow like economics, he's always like, oh, the next recession. It's always every year there's a huge recession. So you have to take it with a little bit of pinch of salt. But yes, he's not far off the truth.
It was Goldman Sachs early this year. They polled executives, and it's always like that. It's if you look at even consumer sentiment or executive sentiment, I could say anything. It's how I feel. It's not necessarily, formed, but I think they said it was like a 60% chance of a recession this year, and then that was in December, and then in the spring it jumped up to 65%. So it's really, it's our mindset, and how we approach business. I totally see how tariffs is a real thing, but we still need to take, as a brand or retailer, you still need to take risks, right? You got to keep your mind on the store, obviously, and control costs. But consumers are heading back to retail, and they want to buy, so you have to engage them. I think we get lost in the numbers and the doomsaying, and the tariffs and the impact and all that, and those are real things. But we still have to, as an industry, remain creative and engaging with shoppers.
Well, I think there's also a huge sort of, as a friend of mine who I might actually ask to come on the show, and he deals with a lot of malls and the kind of retail within malls, but it's all about the experience within those malls. You're not just trying to get people to come in for shopping, but also the experiences around. I mean, sometimes they're extreme, like the American Dream one in New Jersey, for instance, which kind of went a little crazy. But they'll put like roller coasters in there, or there's go-karts, there's, all sorts of stuff. But it's more about experience. I think that's what shoppers want. They want that experience. So I think, even though they may not be spending as much, they're going to go for that experience. And if you're more creative with that process and how you're selling and how you're pricing things, I think, you should be able to see some gains there at least.
Well, I think we're going to wrap it up. We have our guests coming in, our Gen Z specialists or students. They're going to talk about consumer behavior, how they view shopping, and how they view brands. But until next time, Cass, thank you, and we'll see you again.
Thank you, Arthur. Take care.
Hey, welcome back to our podcast. I have a couple of guests, as you can see on our screen here, and we have Olivia Barron, who used to be our intern. And she was fantastic. She was interned over the summer, and she focused on Gen Z. She started writing a column, right, on Gen Z, which is your generational cohort. And it was great. And then she left. So we reeled her back in. We said, not so fast. Can you bring some of your friends on? And we're going to talk about sort of like Gen Z things as it relates to shopping, retail, fashion, perhaps, or whatever. But Olivia, can you introduce your friends who are on?
Yeah. So these are my two very good friends, Tali and Talia. We go to Indiana University and we're juniors. And they're super excited to be here, as am I.
So so the first question, think about the last thing that you were really excited about. What was it? And what was the journey from discovering that thing or product to actually buying it? Did you see it on a social media? Like what was the journey? How did you get recommendation from a friend? Like, how did that happen?
I would say, I actually saw a pair of, we all share all of our clothes. Like I wear their clothes more than I wear my clothes. Like Talia had these like really dark wash jeans and I really liked them. And then I went and bought them in Indianapolis. So, and I'd seen that color before, like that type of wash, like on social media, and some of my friends had them. So I'd kind of say I get easily inspired by other people's tastes and their fashion.
For me, I this weekend bought a striped sweater from Brandy Melville, and earlier in the fall, or right in between summer and fall, I had seen this striped shirt at Aritzia. And when I had gone back, I thought about it for a little bit. It was sold out. So I was pretty upset. And then when I went to Brandy this weekend and saw a striped sweater, I decided to get it because it kept popping up on my social media.
So that's really interesting because that's not a spontaneous purchase, right? It was whipping in on you, right? And eating away that you needed it, right? So that's interesting. That's a lot of people, they go shopping and it's like they just grab that. Also, I just have a question about when you swap clothes. So you guys all the same size? Like, how does that work?
Yeah. Luckily. Yeah, luckily. We all live in the same house, so
Okay.
we're always walking down the hall and getting stuff from each other's closets.
So Talia, how is the seed planted when you see a product in whatever that last thing was?
Okay, so I was at Free People in Utah this past weekend, and I saw a sweater, and I'm going abroad in the spring, and all I could think about was like Europe. I've like seen all the girls from my sorority who are the grade above like wearing these clothes, and I was like, it's perfect. And so I bought that, and I'm so excited about it. I've worn it 5 times already, and it's like 80 degrees out, so I don't really know how I've done that, but I love it.
Amazing. I guess when I go shopping, like men are a little bit different. My demographic, which is older, Generation X, we're very like, especially the men. Women, I don't think so. But it's like I'm hunting. So I just want to get in there, get to talking and move out. Do you guys like how is that? How do you navigate? Let's just stick with in-store shopping. Is it let's say you have 2 different products that you like in the store. What's going on in your head? Like, how do you make that decision to which to buy?
For me, I would say it's depending on how much I want to spend that day. So, like, for example, last weekend was fall break, and my friends and I drove up to Indianapolis, and I told myself I was only going to buy something that I was completely obsessed with because I just wasn't in the position to be spending all this money in one day.
So it's based on value and how much money.
Yes. Yeah, I would definitely say that. But then again, if it was like a $200 pair of jeans, like I probably wouldn't have splurged on that day. So it's like, I don't know, it's on both ends of the spectrum in that sense. But yeah, I would say a lot of it is about value to me.
Yeah, do you guys agree?
For sure. I also think if something's coming up, if I have an event or a trip, then I'm definitely probably willing to spend more, or maybe I'm at a cheaper store, so I'll get both things, but I would definitely have to agree about the value. Also, like, I think Tolly can probably attest to this. Every single time I go shopping, I just send a picture to like 10 people. I'm like, will I wear this? Like, be honest with me, will I wear this? And then if I get validation, then I usually buy whatever I've validated to buy.
So you're shopping and taking photos on social media and asking
Yeah.
people?
Yeah,
Okay.
or texting.
Or texting. But going back to the $200 jeans, Olivia, did you see that as an investment? I mean, that's a lot of money for a pair of jeans, right?
No. I don't like. I mean, the jeans I bought this past weekend, I got them on sale. They're originally like $105, and I got them on sale for $70. So like, it was also a big thing. I was like, okay, I'm obsessed with these, and they're on sale. So I was like, I have to buy it. But yeah, I think a lot of it is just your taste. I mean, personally, I don't have like very expensive tastes. So like, if I see a pair of cute jeans in a thrift store, like, yeah, I'm gonna get those. But yeah, I probably would not invest in a $200.
Speaking of what is when you go out or let's say you're going out to, I don't know if you guys go out to dinner or like, let's just say you go out. I'm not sure. Whatever. It could be a movie. It could be dinner. It could be shopping. Do you guys dress up specifically for that kind of activity? How does that work?
Totally.
Totally.
I feel like we all talk beforehand. We're like, what's the vibe? Like, what are we all wearing? And then we kind of like coordinate our outfits or wherever we go.
So I'm imagining, even though you guys are in the same house, you're probably sending photos of different outfits to each other within the house, right? Saying, hey, does this look good? Is that what happens? Okay.
Well, we
100%.
Talia's room is right next to mine, so I'll just
so
like
you're,
walk into the room and yeah.
We just walk
in. And what about the other people in the other students? Are they? Is it similar? Or is it kind of this? I don't want to say behavior, but it's sort of a consumer behavior, right? Is it similar for other friends and people your age? Yeah.
Yes.
Totally. We like to say we're like the biggest victims of consumerism. At least I am. I know I am. Like, without a doubt. Totally.
Yeah. No, but you said before, thrifting, if you find something on resale or thrift, so that's almost anti-consumerism, right? Because you're not buying into that same machine, right? It's like a more circular loop, right?
I think, yeah, I agree with that. I definitely think it's more about just, again, like how much I value the product. I'm not necessarily gonna see a product that I'm like, oh, I can get this at a thrift store or whatever. But like, if I happen to find something that's for a really good price, then yeah, that's gonna.
So you guys are looking for deals too, right? You're willing to spend a lot of money if you're getting a deal on it, right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
And where do you look for deals? What is the do you sign up for like websites or your favorite brands? Maybe they have a newsletter or they send you push marketing text, right? Is that how that works?
Even like following their Instagrams, and they'll be like 30% off like for Labor Day, whatever, and then we'll all check the site and see what we like. I think that's a really big one.
Yeah, I also think like if I'm talking about a store, my Instagram definitely sends me targeted ads, and it's Aritzia is having 30 to 50% off for the next 2 weeks. So they definitely get you with the ads too.
Let's talk about good.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, a lot of the time I'll literally be talking about something, and then 10 minutes later I'll open my Instagram, scrolling through stories, and it's like, there it is, and
There
I'm
it
like,
is.
oh,
Wait,
now
so
I have to buy it.
so they're
Sign.
are you saying they're spying on us? I think
Like they're
Yeah.
definitely listening.
they're definitely listening.
Totally.
It's actually true. They are listening and they're picking up keywords and tracking everything you do. And then it's turned into a targeted marketing campaign just for you, which makes me think about like personalization. I think Olivia, you and I talked about this over the summer about what does personalization mean to you? Like you're willing to give up your data if they could give you the right thing in exchange, right?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Like, I feel like a lot of companies nowadays will automatically track your purchases. Like, for example, Amazon, they're amazing at tailoring what they're marketing to you based on your past purchases. And I think a lot of companies are hopping on that bandwagon, and I think it's super effective. But I don't think it's necessarily like me giving up my information. But yeah, if it's a brand that I really, really like and I want to, get notifications about their deals in the future, then I am willing to give them my email or my phone number for SMS messages or stuff like that.
Same with you guys. It's if it makes it a better shopping experience or to open up the door to deals, right? You're willing to do that, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think I definitely give up my information if I know that like I'll get something in return. I could probably be more conscious about it for sure.
So walk me through your typical like shopping process. Like how much of it happens online versus in a physical store? And you talked about like social media as well. Like what role does social media play in that?
I would say that most of my shopping definitely happens online, just because like of how attached we are to technology now, and we're exposed to so many more things on a day-to-day basis. Even if I check my phone to check my grades, like I end up coming across something that might be appealing to me. Like, it's just like in every aspect of our lives that have to do with technology, like something is going to pop up that's marketing a product to us. So I definitely feel like mine happens more online. It's also about like time. I feel like just as a student, like I don't, especially during the school year, I don't have the time to just drive up to Indianapolis and go to the mall, because we're like, Bloomington is very separated from, like, you can't, there's not a lot of shopping here. You don't really go shopping here. Like, if you're going to go, you go to Indianapolis. So yeah, I would say a lot of it is about time and convenience. So
Same with you, Talon?
I would say I definitely prefer to shop in person. I like to try things on, see how things fit, but definitely have to agree about Bloomington is not the most ideal place for shopping. But I would say when I go home and I'm with my family, we probably go to the mall. I have two sisters, and my mom loves to shop, so we are at the mall probably close every day, which is embarrassing to admit, but we love to shop, and it's how we spend our time together. So I think for me, it's not necessarily about the convenience unless I know I need something, but more about the personal experiences I'm getting. But when I'm in Bloomington, I definitely say majority of my shopping takes place online.
Tali, you're shaking your head yes. You agree?
Yeah, honestly, exact same. When I'm home, I prefer to shop in person, try things on, like pick. But when it's not so easy to shop in person here, there's not really a ton of options. So whenever we're bored, I think we're scrolling the online shops for sure.
But what about brands? What are some of your favorite brands? Tally, want to tell us who's like who gets you as a brand? Like they really understand who you are.
I would have to say Brandy Melville has really gone up on my list. I think their stuff is really comfortable, really affordable. I know that's a little bit controversial with their sizing takes, but I think for the product they have and the prices they have, it's great for a college student. But if I'm willing to spend more, Aritzia is definitely my favorite.
We always talk about, like, me and Tolly talk about, we have our Brandy Melville stuff from like 6th grade still. Like,
Me too.
yeah,
Me too.
it's
crazy.
actually really impressive.
And it's the material isn't even that great.
Yeah.
It's just
Right,
like it lasts. It's basics, and like I feel like that is what everyone craves nowadays. Is just like basics that you can wear to like any event. I was also going to say Aritzia, particularly their in-store shopping experience,
Right.
is really great. I'm pretty sure their employees are like they get commissions, so they kind of come right up to you and they're like, "How can I help you today?" Like as soon as you walk in the store, and they'll like give you their opinions on things and take your stuff to the dressing room, and like they'll say, "Oh, that looks so cute on you." It's just like kind of like builds the like relationship when you're shopping there. So I would say they have a really pleasant in-store experience. But I also think Brandy Melville is very good for online shopping in particular because the stores are really crazy because they're kind of like compact and can get really crowded. So yeah, I would say Brandy Melville is definitely for me. I'd prefer to shop online.
None of you mentioned any like.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah, good. Olivia, mute for a second. Yeah, so Olivia, mute. It's you. Okay. So Tally, you were talking about favorite brands.
I would say I agree with both of them. Those are definitely my 2 favorite brands. I like a department store like a Nordstrom's and stuff where
okay.
a lot of options. I also really like their in-person experience. Like they have like the personalized shoppers for you too, which is always really nice. Yeah, so I agree. Brandy and Aritzia are definitely my favorites.
But so what happened like when you were a teen? Were you as a teen shopping at, I don't know, the American Eagle, and did you mature? Did you evolve? Like what was that like? How did you find new brands? Olivia, maybe.
I think just honestly seeing other people around you and what they're doing. I don't really remember how I evolved from honestly got it exactly right, like American Eagle jeans to I don't know, Levi's or stuff like that. But yeah, I would say it's definitely what other people are doing, what other people are talking about. Definitely. I think that was a huge thing with Brandy Melville in particular. It was like huge when we were in like 7th and 8th grade. I feel like it was like all people talked about. So yeah, I would say just like word of mouth.
Tally, same for you? Is that sort of a migration and then learning, oh, look at these people are wearing, I should wear that? Is it?
I think it's also somewhat of like style maturing, finding what's appropriate. I don't want to wear jeans to class every day, so I love Aritzia sweatpants, so I'm going to find those. And knowing what's appropriate for what event or what type of outfit. I also think trying to invest in a closet that I know can last me for longer rather than investing in micro trends. Talia always keeps me on point with to buy things I shouldn't be buying.
What about beauty?
I'm very honest. So I definitely share my opinions on clothing.
So what about beauty products? I had read a couple of recent reports that your generation kind of embraces skincare more so than other generations. You guys have great skin. Is that true? Is skincare a priority, I guess?
I would say when I find something that I really like, I don't change from one product to another very often. Like I have my routine that has taken a while. I've tested so many different things, but I've finally found something that I've been doing for like 3 years now and it's worked perfectly well. So yeah, but I do agree that our generation is very like skincare focused because my mom was actually telling me, she was like, I wonder if your generation is going to age better than mine because you guys are so into skincare. And I was like, oh, like good point. Like maybe, but Yeah, I would say I've been buying the same products for a while now, and I don't really like to change it up.
You guys
But with
agree?
makeup,
Yeah.
I like to try new things. I love trying new makeup.
Well, what brands do you kind of like?
I really like Rare Beauty. I've been really into that lately. Rhode is good, and I don't know. I kind of just use a bunch of different things. Honestly, my mom, since she worked in the beauty fashion
She gets a
industry,
lot of free samples.
a lot of free stuff. So I've been using the same bronzer I picked out from one of those gift bags like 4 years ago. So yeah.
Talia, what's some of your favorite beauty brands? Skincare is important, obviously, too, right?
Yes. Well, I was gonna say actually, I have a 12-year-old cousin, and I think skincare for middle schoolers and like my cousin owns all of Sephora. I've never seen anything like that. So I think specifically middle schoolers are really into the skincare and makeup, which is something I don't know if it was necessarily the same for us.
Right.
That's definitely changed. Some of my favorite brands, I love e.l.f. I think it's a really great affordable option. And something that's really easy to go get. I know I love Say from Sephora. I like their blush. But one of our other good friends is like really into makeup, so I always go to her for advice when I don't know what to get.
What is the I guess, have you guys been on job interviews yet, or you have? So how do you dress? How do you approach a job interview? Do you put makeup on? Do you go natural? Do you like what's that process like? Do you ask mom for help?
I wear suit. Well, the top. I wear a suit, and yeah, I do my makeup. Look good, feel good is my
Yeah.
thing. It's like realistically, would they be able to tell I'm wearing makeup or not? Because I'm not doing like a full face. It's kind of more for me personally. So.
Wait a minute, you said top. That's right, because it's a Zoom call, probably, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting.
So I'll be in like a suit and like sweatpants. So
What about you guys? Same, yeah.
Yeah, I think like actually Tolly taught me this, like always like dress and present yourself for, like the job like you want to have, not the
want to.
job like you're applying for. And like I think my whole summer I really did that because I just think there's a lot of value in like feeling put together and like being more productive that way.
Do you guys go out and dress up? Is that a thing for you, or okay? Is it clubbing? Like, what's the going out activity? No.
no, it's just frat parties.
But
But it's not
No
really
clubs in
like,
Bloomington.
yeah, like I feel like the New York City style and like Chicago and whatever, it's like going out in skirts and tights and boots. Here for the parties, we just wear jeans and a cute top, basically. So it's a little less pressure, honestly, but
Wait,
we still take risk out now.
are all you guys from New York area or from different? No, where you from? Tally,
All
where you
over.
from? All over. So what's the so you're in the middle of farmland? Is that true? I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere, right? So what's the
Kind of.
What was this? How did you feel? What was that transition? How did you transition into that culture from your hometown, which is probably, well, I don't know, where you're from, and how did you transition into where you are now culturally? Don't be
I can
shy.
start. I'm from Orange County, California,
Okay.
and so super different. Could not be more polar opposite. I grew up like at the beach and at like shopping and going to LA and San Diego and whatever, and like so I've never experienced 4 seasons in my life. I've never lived in a farmland or anything like that. So definitely a huge shock. All my friends know I make like cold weather like buddy's problem. I complain so much. I honestly like everyone I tell I am so grateful that I live here now because it's such a unique experience and
Yeah.
I love it. It's so fun. I'll never be able to live in a college town like this again. I love it.
Yeah, Olivia, what? Yeah, you're from New York, right? So
Yeah. So I think it's the weather's honestly not that different, even though the Midwest has
Right.
this reputation of being super cold. I don't think it's that different. But yeah, like Talia said, we're kind of dropped in the middle of nowhere because our college town is like super populated and there's a bunch of restaurants and there's like things to do. We say there's nothing to do, but we've also been here 3 years. So it's like we've seen everything. But yeah, it's kind of just this like populated town dropped in the middle of nowhere, because once you drive 10 minutes out of Bloomington, all you see is corn. So that part I'm definitely not used to.
Sally, what about you? Where are you originally from?
I'm from Colorado, so definitely also a big change, but I don't mind the colds. I think the seasons here are beautiful. Like right now it's fall, the leaves are changing, so that reminds me of home, which is awesome. But I feel like freshman year, you're kind of joining all the fun. You're going to football games, you're meeting all these new people. So the transition wasn't so bad. And you're kind of, even if there's not much to do, you're finding things to do. I think my favorite thing about being in college is I'm easily entertained just by laying in my friend's bed, even
Nice.
if we're not really talking or doing anything, but just nice to be together.
What about social media? Let's go back to that. Who do you find when it comes to shopping, whether it's beauty or apparel, who do you find most influential on TikTok or Instagram? Anybody, if anybody?
Apart from my friends, like I would say that I'm the most influenced in my fashion by my friends. But I will say those smaller, and I actually wrote one of my columns about this. I'm more influenced by micro influencers on
Yeah.
TikTok. Will like randomly pop up on my For You page that has like 70 likes, rather than these huge influencers who are getting millions of likes. Like, I like seeing girls like me who are they're just normal girls, like making their TikTok, trying to get some commission from TikTok, showing off these clothes. And I'm like, oh, like she's just like me. Like she has like 100 followers on TikTok. She's not that big. So I think it's a lot about who we're similar to and taking that like clothing advice from them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it seems more real, and it's like uncut, unedited, and rather than advertisements that are like so formulated to make this girl look perfect, and she probably has hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram. So yeah, I would say those micro influencers are much more impactful for me.
And I think we talked about that too. It's like you want to support people like you, but I think more importantly is your generation as a whole is supportive of one another. That's not true for a lot of other generations. It's like, you guys go out of your way to be kind to one another and to support one another. What else? Any other influences? So celebrity is not a big deal for you. That's not somebody. Yeah, no.
For me, I think TikTok influencers are who I gravitate towards. There's this girl, Caroline Bankston, who posts day in her life, whatever they're called. And then she'll post like what she wore every week, like every day she'll take a picture and post that. And I like her style. I think it's relatable. Her content's relatable. And other than that, I think like Acquired Style and her twin sister, Danielle and Bridget, I don't know their last name, but I think they're people I like to watch.
And I forget the name of the trend, but it's basically men and women doing their evening skincare routine, like they or starting their day and what they're applying. It's very authentic, right? Because it's just nothing there. It's like they stripped down or stripped up. Is that something does it make you feel? Oh, that's just, I feel like I could relate to that.
I think Alex Earl, if you know who that is, she's like huge on TikTok. She made herself famous simply from posting a get ready with me, talking to the camera while she's either putting on her makeup or taking it off. And she's just super real and authentic. And she actually like shares a lot about her skincare journey. Like she had like really, really bad acne, and she's very open about it. She posted her whole journey on Accutane and stuff like that. So I think a lot of people really like her for that reason, just because she's so real. Even though she's made herself into such a huge influencer, people still find ways to relate to her, even though she's so famous.
I fell down a rabbit hole on TikTok of journaling. You familiar with this trend? And it's like I can't get out of it now. And now I'm buying journals, and I'm trying to like figure it out. But it's big. I didn't realize how huge it is, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that it's a kind of a positive thing. But if you know any trends that I should be following to kind of refresh my feed, let me know, and I'll do that. All right, last question is: so if a brand wants to earn your loyalty, What's the single most important thing that brand needs to do? I'll tell you. Can I share mine? I'll share mine first. It's funny because I talked about this brand in another podcast, but it's Tractor Supply, which I'm sure there's probably a lot out in where you guys are, and they just do me right. It's like they have what I want. They double their Carhartt collection of apparel. They have more footwear, so I don't need to go anywhere else. I have bird feeders outside. I live up in the country. They have that. They're friendly. They're nice. They're knowledgeable, and it's the in-store experience that really says, "Oh, this is a brand that I want to support." Do you have any brands like that? What do they have to do for you personally to win your hearts?
Honestly, I was just thinking about this. I think Brandy Melville is really great at that. They're very laser focused on the type of clothes they put out, and their prices and all this stuff versus for example, Skims just had a drop that was so expensive, so not what they usually come out with. I genuinely don't know anyone who's buying that stuff. And that just kind of deters me away, I guess, from them. Even though I literally just bought something from them, so that's kind of a lie. But in general, I really can appreciate that Brandy in the past 10 years that we've been buying from them has not changed their prices, has not changed their quality, has not changed the type of clothes they come out with. I know if I need a basic set, I can go there versus somewhere else that's constantly trying to keep up with the micro trends and whatever, and is just not so reliable. I don't know what their quality is these days, that.
Yeah, Brandy Melville has it's their own genre really
Right.
of clothing. It's not a lot of department stores, well, obviously department stores, but a lot of brands just kind of sell all different types of things. But Brandy Melville, it's kind of created its own style that so many people are attracted to, and then go and it's about a lot about loyalty, because I mean, clearly we've all been shopping at Brandy Melville for what, 7-8 years
years
now.
now.
It's crazy. So
And
yeah, I
that-
think what Tom said is really, really true.
and that's a good point because they created that genre. That's what you call it, and that's their core brand, and they haven't deviated from that.
Yeah.
Right. So that
They've made it better. They've come out with more and more things that are it just keeps getting better. But it's still goes back to that same genre or style. So
well, I think other brands they try to be everything to everyone, and that necessarily doesn't work. Right. That's not going to win hearts.
yeah. And that's why there's so much controversy around the brand, not just because of their sizing, but it's just because their tops are little and but that's part of their brand, and they're not going to stray away from that if what they've been doing is so successful and it's clearly working. So
Okay. Any closing thoughts before we wrap it up? No. Okay. Well, it was great having you. You guys are wonderful. I think we have to do this again sometime later in the future. Check in on you and see where things are changing. Yeah. Thank you so much for taking time today,
thank you so
Thank
much.
you. This was so fun.
and thanks for tuning in. See you next time.
Bye.